Most people don't actually want a business. They want freedom, income, and control over their time. But what they end up building is a job that owns them. They wake up stressed, work all day, and still feel like everything will collapse the moment they step away. This is exactly the problem explained in the E-Myth, Revisited. And if you don't understand this early, your business will never run without you. Here's the uncomfortable truth. Most businesses fail, not because the idea is bad, not because the market is too competitive, but because the owner is trapped inside the business, doing everything. They are the salesperson, the manager, the technician, and the decision maker. If they stop working, revenue stops. That is not a business. That is self-employment. The core mistake people make is assuming that being good at a skill means they'll be good at running a business. A great baker opens a bakery. A talented designer starts an agency. A skilled developer launches a startup. But skill alone doesn't build systems. It builds dependence. And dependence kills scalability. Inside every small business owner, there are three personalities fighting for control: the technician, the manager, and the entrepreneur. The technician loves doing the work. This is the part of you that says, "I'll just do it myself. It'll be faster." The manager wants order, stability, and predictability. The entrepreneur is the visionary who dreams big, takes risks, and sees possibilities. Most businesses are dominated by the technician, and that's why they stay small. If you want a business that runs without you, the technician cannot be in charge. The entrepreneur must lead, and the manager must build systems that allow ordinary people to produce extraordinary results. This shift in mindset is everything. A real business is not built on people, it's built on systems. People come and go, systems stay. When your business depends on your memory, your energy, or your constant presence, it's fragile. But when it depends on documented processes, clear roles, and repeatable workflows, it becomes durable. The goal is not to build a business that needs superheroes. The goal is to build a business that works even with average employees. That means everything must be designed, documented, and simplified. If a task cannot be explained, written down, and taught, then it's a liability. Think about franchises for a moment. A teenager can walk into a fast food restaurant on their first day and perform at a predictable level. Why? Not because they're brilliant, but because the system is brilliant. Every movement, every word, every step is predefined. That's not accidental. That's design. You must stop asking, "How can I do this better?" and start asking, "How should this be done every time?" This is one of the most powerful shifts you can make. When you design the process, instead of improvising, you remove yourself from the bottleneck. This also means you must build your business as if you plan to sell it one day, even if you never will. A business that can't run without its owner has very little value. Buyers don't want jobs. They want machines that generate cash. Start by defining what your business actually does at its core. Not what you do every day, but the promise you make to customers. What problem do you solve, and what result do you deliver? Once that's clear, you can design systems that consistently produce that result. Next, break your business into functions: marketing, sales, operations, customer service, finance. Each function should have a clear purpose, clear metrics, and clear procedures. If everything is just handled, you don't have a business. You have chaos. One of the biggest reasons owners refuse to systemize is fear. Fear that employees won't do it as well. Fear of losing control. Fear of becoming replaceable. But here's the paradox. The more replaceable you make yourself, the more powerful your business becomes. You don't gain freedom by being needed everywhere. You gain freedom by making yourself unnecessary in daily operations. That doesn't reduce your importance. It elevates it. Another critical concept is working on the business, not in the business. Working in the business is answering emails, fixing mistakes, handling clients, and solving daily problems. Working on the business is designing systems, improving processes, training people, and thinking strategically. If you spend all your time in the business, it will never grow beyond you. This requires discipline. It means stepping back even when it feels uncomfortable. It means letting others make small mistakes so the system can improve. It means trading short-term efficiency for long-term scalability. Documentation is your leverage. Every recurring task should have a written procedure. Not complicated manuals, but simple, clear instructions. What triggers the task? What are the steps? What does done correctly look like? This turns chaos into clarity. Your job as the owner is not to be the best worker. Your job is to be the best architect. You design the machine, others operate it. When the machine breaks, you improve the design, not jump inside it permanently. A business that runs without you is not built overnight. It's built deliberately. It's built by choosing systems over heroics, design over hustle, and structure over stress. Once you understand this, everything about how you build and run a business changes. Once you accept that your role is to design the business instead of doing the work, the next challenge becomes delegation. Most people think delegation means handing tasks to someone else. That's wrong. Delegation without systems is just chaos with a different name. True delegation means transferring clarity, not just responsibility. Before you give a task to anyone, you should be able to answer 3 questions clearly. What is the outcome? What does success look like? And how will it be measured? If you can't explain that in simple terms, then the problem isn't your employee. The problem is your thinking. People don't fail because they're lazy. They fail because expectations are vague. When you say handle customer support, that's not a task. That's a wish. When you say respond to all customer emails within 12 hours using this response framework and escalate issues using this checklist, that's a system. Your business should not rely on motivation. Motivation fades. It should rely on structure. Structure creates consistency even on bad days. This is why the richest founders obsess over systems, while everyone else obsesses over hustle. One of the most powerful tools you can use is standard operating procedures. Every repeated action should have one. Hiring, onboarding, sales calls, content creation, invoicing, follow-ups. If it happens more than twice, it deserves a process. Writing things down feels slow at first, but it saves thousands of hours later. This also forces you to confront inefficiencies you've been avoiding. When you document a process, you see where things are unclear, unnecessary, or overly complex. The act of writing exposes flaws. That's not a weakness. That's an advantage. Another critical shift is how you hire. Most small business owners hire reactively. They wait until they're overwhelmed, then panic hire the first available person. That almost always leads to disappointment. Instead, you should hire roles, not people. The role should exist on paper before the person exists in reality. Each role should have a clear mission, responsibilities, authority, and performance metrics. If someone doesn't know what winning looks like, they can't win. When roles are defined properly, managing becomes easier because expectations are already set. You also need to stop hiring people who need constant supervision. A business that runs without you requires people who can follow systems and think independently within boundaries. That doesn't mean you need geniuses. It means you need people who respect structure. Training is another area where owners sabotage themselves. They throw people into the work and hope they figure it out. That's expensive. Proper training should be built into the system. New hires should not rely on tribal knowledge or hallway conversations. They should have clear onboarding resources and checkpoints. The goal is simple. Anyone new should be able to perform competently without needing you personally. If they can't, then the system isn't finished yet. As your systems mature, your job begins to change again. You move from managing tasks to managing outcomes. You stop asking, "Did you do this?" and start asking, "Did this result happen?" This is how leaders think. They don't micromanage effort. They measure results. Metrics are essential here. What gets measured gets managed. Every function in your business should have numbers that tell you whether it's healthy or not. Sales conversion rates, customer retention, fulfillment time, error rates. When numbers are clear, emotions leave the room. This is how a business can operate even when you're not present. You don't need to watch everything. You need to see everything through data. Another major concept is creating a business model that doesn't depend on your personal presence. If customers only trust the business because of you, that's a risk. The brand must stand on its own. The experience must be consistent, regardless of who delivers it. This is why many successful businesses deliberately step back from being the face of everything. They let the system speak. They let the brand carry authority. They build trust through reliability, not personality. That doesn't mean you disappear. It means your energy goes into direction, not execution. You think about where the business is going, what needs improvement, and what opportunities are coming next. At this stage, your calendar should look very different. Fewer emergencies, fewer fire drills, more thinking time, more planning, more strategic conversations. If your day is still filled with small tasks, something is broken. You should also design your business with failure in mind, not pessimistically, but realistically. People will quit. Systems will break. Markets will shift. The question isn't whether problems will happen, it's whether your business can absorb them without collapsing. Redundancy is not waste. It's protection. Documentation is not bureaucracy. It's freedom. Systems are not rigidity. They are what allow creativity to scale. When your business reaches this point, something powerful happens. You stop feeling trapped. You stop feeling guilty when you step away. You stop feeling like everything depends on you. That's when you realize you're no longer building a job. You're building an asset. A business that runs without you gives you leverage. Leverage over time. Leverage over income. Leverage over opportunity. And once you have that, you can choose what role you want to play, instead of being forced into all of them. The final transformation is internal. You stop identifying as the worker and start identifying as the owner. Owners design. Owners create environments where work happens without constant intervention. That is the real lesson behind building a business that runs without you. And once you understand this way of thinking, you'll never build a business the same way again.